Hey everybody, Caleb Dennison for Digital Trends here. I've made my way finally to the Hisense booth where we're seeing a lot of cool new technologies as well as new televisions from a brand that is really up and coming. I'm here with Mr. Chris Porter. Chris, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you were telling me earlier that NPD, which does display metrics for people, basically informed you guys that you were number 5 in terms of units shipped.
Yes.
That's absolutely massive. Congratulations.
Great. Thank you very much.
Well, obviously, every year you guys bring new technologies to the game, and the picture quality of the TVs goes up and up. You're also the only manufacturer I'm aware of that offers different smart TV platform options, which we'll dig into in a little bit. But right now, I want to focus on what's behind us, because I don't think very many people have seen this notion of dual cell technology. Can you talk a little bit about what we're seeing here? We're going to step out of the way so that we can show it.
So we call this our ULED XD, and XD stands for extreme detail. And what we do is we use 2 open cell modules. One is used for luminance only, grayscale picture, and then the other is the full color RGB. So on the grayscale side of things, we have a 2K panel, and that allows us to have over 2 million pixel level luminance control. So instead of talking about local dimming zones, we're actually able to do it at the pixel level, which means instead of having square blocks from local dimming zones, we have smooth curves, and we're able to get rid of all the halos and really produce super sharp, black images against the brightest things with no halos.
Yeah, it's incredible technology. I mean, if we get in there, we can see, basically it looks like a black and white LCD screen, but this is handling the brightness and the darkness, also known as luminance in the industry, and then you take that and put it behind the color LCD display, so you got all the color filtration going on there, and so it's basically pixel level luminance, right?
That's exactly what it is, and then the backlight sits behind it all. And since the way we have created this panel, it's not 2 full panels because we don't have need for the polarizers and the color filters and stuff on the luminance side. So we create a special sandwich to make the panel with only the parts that we need. That's how we're able to get over 1,000 nits of peak brightness through 2 open cell modules.
And and it's a thin TV as well, so it's got a really nice form factor, and really, this is I think you put it well earlier, this is kind of the last hurrah for LED, LCD based TVs, versus something like OLED,
Yes.
So it's hard to get a pixel level illumination, out of a LED based or LCD based display, right? You guys definitely have that here, and I think that's pretty amazing. I was really excited to show everybody how that works. Now, this has been out in the market, but not in the U.S. market before.
That's correct. It started shipping last year in the China domestic market, and then we'll have plans for it in the second half of this year.
Okay.
Right now, we're not giving you availability and pricing. We'll wait.
Well, that's par for the course of CES. We don't get to hear about pricing and availability, but we do know it's coming to the U.S. this year, and that's a big deal. So you've got a whole new line of 2020 TVs. We're going to walk and talk here a little bit. I was happy to review the H8F last year, and the H9 came around, and of course, before you know it, it's Thanksgiving and the holidays, and now here we are at CES. But those are the 2 top tier TVs, and then earlier or later last year, you introduced the R series. So
yes.
The differentiation here with the R series versus the H series is what?
Roku operating system versus Android operating system. As you mentioned earlier, we're the only TV brand that offers the consumer the choice of smart platforms. So we have a full HD and then a good, better, best 4K in Roku. We have full HD and good, better, best in Android.
Makes a lot of sense. Now, the thing that distinguished the H9F from the rest of your lineup last year was that it had quantum dot film integrated into the display, which widens the color gamut, opens up the color volume, makes HDR really pop. What TVs are you featuring in 2020 that offer quantum dot?
So as you mentioned earlier, the H8 was just a home run last year for us. So to add value, we brought quantum down in. So now we have the R8G. The G stands for our 2020 model year, quantum dot, versus the wide color gamut using phosphor LED on the top. That's the R8F that started shipping in December.
Right.
Same thing with the H8G is now we have quantum dot in that. Last year this was, again, phosphor coated LEDs for wide color gamut, so we're bringing the customer quantum dot. then of course in the H9 we have quantum dot last year, we have quantum dot this year. But one of the things that we've done is increase the number of local dimming zones. So now this is available in 55 and 65 inch with 160 zones of local dimming in both screen sizes.
And you can really see it. I mean, we've got some extremely sharp edges, and what you notice is it goes pitch black beyond the edge of the illuminated flowers, in this case a vase, just really dark, deep blacks. And you can get, again, let's clarify for folks, you can get this technology that you see in the H9G, you can also get in an R9G, is that true or no?
The Roku series stops at the R8 series.
Okay, so if you want the absolute best with the most zones, it's going to be an Android-based model,
TV.
which is also going to support both HDR10, HDR10 Plus, and Dolby Vision,
and
right?
Dolby Vision, and it's also 120 hertz native.
And let's just be honest, one of the hallmarks of Hisense's televisions is the affordability factor. I mean, these technologies are coming to folks at unprecedentedly low prices. And I mean, the proof's in the pudding right here. These are outstanding looking displays. I love it. We can't have a booth tour talking about TVs unless we dig into 8K. So
okay.
Can we go talk 8K for a second? We're gonna move around here a little bit. And now this 8K TV we know there's no 8K content to enjoy right now. There's a promise that YouTube is going to be making some of that available soon, but at this time, not a ton of 8K content to be enjoyed. But everybody's putting out an 8K TV anyway right now.
Right. Well, it's one of those things. We do it because we can. It is a little bit ahead of the market as far as content right
Sure.
now. The only way that we're really going to see 8K content is through streaming services, and that's going to require probably a fiber to the home connection. It does support HDMI 2.1, so if you were to get, I think Sony's announced on the PlayStation 5 that they will support HDMI 2.1, and you get the enhancements, not only the larger pipe for data, but also some software enhancements like enhanced ARC and variable refresh rate and things like that.
And does this TV feature that dual cell technology that we started out looking at the beginning of this?
That it does, and I think it's probably the only one you're going to see anywhere in the show this year that does have dual cell technology. So this uses again a 2K luminance panel behind an 8K RGB panel.
Right. I was going to say, this is some really interesting demo footage. It looks so real, and that's because it is real. You've got a camera going right now shooting this live and then putting it up on the television. Really interesting. So, Chris, thank you so much for taking a second to hang out with us and explain all that's going on at Hisense. I'm Caleb Dennison for Digital Trends. This has been Hisense's 2020 TV lineup and ULED XD technology for Digital Trends at CES.